Hello. It's been a while since I've tried to record any content. I think it's Instagram and maybe Facebook that has me listed as a content creator. I don't think I initiated that, but maybe I did at some point. Anyway, I consider myself an artist, I guess, at some level, a musician, and I do try to put some content together, or I have in the past, and I haven't for a while. A lot going on in my life right now, good things, and some that are challenging things. I'm going through a divorce, that should be finalized very soon. I think my soon-to-be ex-wife and I still do love each other at some level, and we get along fine. We still live in the same house, and we're selling the house, and we have a wonderful son, Vincent, together, who we both love very, very much. And anyway, I want to talk a little bit about in the I guess the style of riffage, some things that I was recording. I believe it was on TikTok primarily, just riffing about things that are going on in life and whatnot. I think I'd be remiss if I didn't say some things about what's going on in our world right now. I hail from Minnesota, suburb of Minneapolis. I grew up there since I was 5 to when I graduated from college at the University of Minnesota. My heart goes out to those impacted by what's going on in the streets of Minneapolis and St. Paul. I'm encouraged by folks of all different kinds that are out there, taking people in and, protecting others who are being hurt and who are being marginalized. My heart goes out to those that are being marginalized and hurt with the occupation of ICE there in Minnesota. I have friends, folks that I know, maybe acquaintances that are out there doing what they can to push back against things that are not right, and that are in many cases illegal in terms of how people are being treated. And I want to talk about my Love Posture EP, because really what is behind, I want to talk about what's behind that, the title primarily of the EP, and I'm going to just try to play the songs. My ADD brain thinks of things that I should say, like at times like this when I'm recording something, but then when I'm recording, if I don't have it written down, it leaves my head. So I'm just riffing here, and I'm speaking a lot off the cuff. I've got a couple things written down, but I'm going to have to rely on my very shady memory to get points across, and I hope I do get some points across here. But I'm going to be playing my tracks, and then I'll talk about them and the inspiration for them. The idea behind the title, again, is just for us. I was going to call it Cruciform Love Posture because, as I think I've said in other places or that are content that I've recorded, what we really need right now and always is, for Christians to adopt a posture of love toward others, no matter who they are. And that's how we can be witnesses to Christ and what it truly means to be a follower of Christ, is by loving God and loving our neighbors. It's as simple as that. And there are many opportunities and ways that we can show our love for our neighbors. And that's what I want this to mean, that love posture is having a posture of love, being open. I think I did an AI thing. I asked Copilot on Word to summarize the love posture idea. And it insinuated certain things about my album and the EEP and whatever that are not 100% true, because the songs are really about what's going on in my life right now, and primarily, and just instrumentals and stuff, and song titles that I wanted to, riff on certain ideas. And so I'm going to riff on that here, because you wouldn't necessarily get that by listening to the songs. But there are some things that I want to highlight, I guess, just about the idea of the title, the love posture. Let's see, what I have here? I don't even know what the context of this is, but I just wanted to mention that it's people that are quote unquote Christian. And what, with the origin of the name Christian it's described in the book of Acts, where Christians were first called Christians in Antioch. And it was not a positive thing. It was like people looking at them and saying, oh, they think they're little Christs. They're trying to be like Jesus. They think of themselves as little Christs. And that's what Christian is. It's, people who follow Christ and so are trying to emulate Christ. And I think that's very important, because we call things Christian, like Christian music. We baptize things as Christian. Today, whether or not you're conservative or liberal or whatever, we've attached certain ideas to these labels. And whether you're woke, or, if you're woke, you're anti-Christian. I'm going to suggest to you that Jesus was called friend of sinners and gluttons, whatever. That I look at as being very similar, and I would take it as a badge of honor if somebody looked at me and called me woke for being Christ-like. I love, and by the way, that's what the love posture is all about. It's about loving everybody. I truly love some folks that I haven't seen in years. I reconnected with one on Facebook recently. It was regarding a post that I put out there. I'm a supporter of World Relief. I believe strongly in what they're doing and raising awareness about what's going on, and they're actually doing things to help immigrants and refugees who are here legally and need our support and our help. And so I'm a big proponent of that. But anyway, somebody saw what I posted about one of the things I posted about World Relief, and I love this person. I love them from 30 plus years ago, last time I talked to him. But it seems that between the time that I last saw him and now, we've been marinating in a culture of us versus them, primarily via the media we watch, the politicians we follow, who are basically parroting these media things sometimes. And it's not a world that I care to marinate in very heavily. So I try to watch different media and get different things from each of them, but I don't spend a lot of time listening to whomever, because you can listen to different things and get really what your ears want to hear out of it. But bottom line is, and I don't have it on my phone here. It's on my phone and I'm recording on my phone, but I wanted to read something that I said to somebody recently, because it will elucidate my thoughts a little bit better. But bottom line is, if we call ourselves followers of Christ, our job is to love others. That's our mandate from Scripture and from God and from Christ. When Christ was asked, what are the greatest commandments? He said, he boiled it down to love God and love your neighbor as yourself. And, I'd just like to challenge all of us, myself included. How do we do that in this moment? The times that we're living in. how can we show love to those who are hurting? Remember the story of the Good Samaritan, that that the one who was despised by society at the time, Jewish society at the time, was the Samaritans, and Jesus purposely in his parable had the Samaritan helping the one who was in need. And who do we see in need today? Who's being marginalized, and who's being looked down upon? We're all human beings. We are all created in the image of God. And again, the love posture thing is, it doesn't matter who you are, what you believe, God calls us to love others, and especially those who are in need. And I see that going on in Minneapolis, and I'm proud of, what people are doing there to help people, and to basically come against the forces that are doing things that are not right. Okay, I understand there are people that feel strongly that, okay, stay home, don't get involved, just stay home and be safe. And I understand that instinct, and I also understand this instinct to want to protect, and to want to love, and to want to be a neighbor to those who are hurting, to want to help, do things like drive them to where they need to go, to make sure they are safe. People who are here, good people that are just trying to do their jobs and live their lives, and who are being singled out. It's not right. And anyway, I had a lot of stuff I was going to read. I did an AI thing where I asked it to summarize, and I got things I was going to read, but here I am blabbing away. So I'm just going to play some... my computer screen went dark. Let's see here. I'm going to play some songs in the order that they're on this Love Posture EP. The first one is called Goodbye, and as it's playing, I'll talk about it a little bit, and we'll go song by song. Let's see, is this going to work? I have this. We've got the Bluetooth connected. It should be ready to play here, I think. Here we go, I think. Here we go. Okay. Song called Goodbye. It's the first track, and I thought it'd be ironic to call the first track. A little buffering or something. Start with a little guitar intro there. A lot of my songs have like a little guitar intro. Vocals might be a little sketchy. By the way, it's going to be hard for my ADD brain to listen and talk at the same time, but I'll try. That was the melody I had in my head as I was driving in the car. And it was a lot faster the way I envisioned it and the way I originally played it. I think the subject matter of the song is obvious to anybody who knows me and knows what I'm going through a divorce. So that was the inspiration for the lyrics. Driving in the car, why, oh, why must this be goodbye? So that's what the melody is going through my head, and that's what I started with, and the rest came out of that. Must we say goodbye? What else did I want to say? Some days I'm okay, some days I want to die. Some days I want to die. Don't you think that our love is worth it's real, it's raw. But, it's just me just kind of ruminating on, yeah, we both, and by the way, the love posture thing extends to my marriage. I don't place any blame on my wife. I place as much blame or more on myself. We both, came together at times in our lives where we needed relationships, and we were both probably trying to heal through relationships, because I was coming off my first divorce when I met my wife, current wife, soon-to-be ex-wife. This is a little guitar solo thing that was totally off the cuff. Every guitar thing is mostly off the cuff on here, so just me playing and feeling it out. I knew kind of where I wanted to go, but I think it came out pretty good though. And that was just basically first or second take, I think. Anyway, yeah, and I'm very thankful for Trudell. That's his artist name. He helped me record this, and he really did a great job with getting it down. I, came in with my ideas to each recording session, and I developed a workflow. He helped me think that through. He's a great producer, and I appreciate him. Okay, that's the end of that one. Now I got to go on to the next one. I'm used to it starting automatically, but I've got these as I'm playing it not from Spotify or anything, but from the masters that I have on my computer here that Trudell helped me get set up with. So the second track is called Con Fantasia, with in parentheses for Carlos. So it's Con Fantasia for Carlos. I just got to find it here. And that's a guitar instrumental. It's an homage to Carlos Santana, one of my favorite, certainly one of my favorite living guitar players. That's, again, a little fooling around intro there, just off the cuff. Had the idea for the rhythm, and that's really all that I had. And then, the first half of the song is going to have acoustic electric soloing going on there. You call it riffing, and I'm trying to riff talking here. So I'm proud of this one too. Again, Goodbye was kind of ironic because it was the first song, and I wanted to have that be the first song. Usually you think Goodbye would be the last song. Kind of makes sense, but kind of going against the grain there, trying to be a little funny. But I really liked the groove on this one. Proud of how it came out. And I don't know, Carlos Santana would ever hear it, but if he did, I hope he would think it was okay, And I'm not trying to compare myself with him by any means, but it's just me just paying respects. And I'm gonna go see him in concert late March. Another concert I'm going to is Robert Plant and what's it called? Or Saving Grace is the name of the whole band. But I'm looking forward to those shows very much, especially, both Santana and Saving Grace. But yeah, I've never seen Santana in concert, so I'm really looking forward to that one. And again, just one of my favorite musicians, guitar players. Been around for many years, and I read his book. It's really good. Worth checking out. The Universal Tone. He talks about that being kind of and check out his latest. It's awesome. He's got a lot of great songs that he's done with others, and just songs of his own, and it's really great. That's where it shifted into the electric just a few seconds ago. Again, off the cuff. The rhythm was, pre-arranged or predetermined, but this completely off the cuff playing, and very thankful that it came out okay. I think I only did maybe one, maybe two takes. like with most of these songs, maybe on a couple of them, maybe more than two, but no more than three ever. It's kind of builds in intensity and it kind of speeds up a little bit. And you're going to hear Trudell's playing the bass on this one and other tracks, and you're going to hear his keyboards coming here too. So production work, not only was he engineer, producer, he played bass, keyboards on this one. Coming with djembe drums, that's me, just you'll hear. Kind of throwing in the kitchen sink towards the end here. Anyway, by the way, this is out there. Wherever you stream music, you can find this. Love Posture, Jim Odell, Odell. Little whammy there, tremolo bar thing going on there at the end. And yeah, okay, gotta remember to play the next one. So that's Con Fantasia for Carlos. By the way, Con Fantasia, I explained this in another explainer video, I think, that means it's a musical direction in Italian, but it means the same thing, I think, in like Spanish, because, you know, Latin language has a lot of the same roots and a lot of the same words. It means with imagination or with fantasy. You know, and that was kind of the musical direction I gave myself, is just to, like a lot of this, I mean, especially instrumental stuff that I play, it's off the cuff, it's with imagination. I'm just kind of, I got a skeletal idea of what I want to do, kind of like, you know, a lot of Miles Davis stuff recorded. I'm in no way comparing myself with Miles Davis, but just, you know, kind of having an idea of what you want to do, and, you know, a loose idea, and then assembling the musicians together and then playing along with that musical idea, having a sketch, you know, like the sketches of Spain. They're sketches, they're ideas, and then they're fleshed out through the music, and the music just comes out awesome. And it's like sometimes like Kind of Blue or whatever just comes out just awesome, and a lot of it is improvised, and it's jazz, I guess you'd say. But anyway, that's Con Fantasia for Carlos. Let's go on to the next one. Let me find it. It's this is called Palabras, Descuidadas, Lo Siento, Mucho. Let's see, can I play it? Here we go. Again, this is the theme in a lot of my songs. Guitar intro kind of doesn't appear anywhere else in the song. I'm proud of my vocals on this one. I was going to say about Goodbye. Oh, I wanted to say, I'll go back to it. I'll go back to Goodbye. But we're on this one now, so I'll talk about this one. All went wrong. Saw the sun go down. And now I'm left with this song. And in my regret I drown. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm not here to sing along with myself. I'm here to explain what the song's about. So, when I was driving for Uber, I picked up a passenger from Peru, a lovely young lady that I had a nice conversation with, and basically I felt terrible because at the end of the drive, I was dropping her off at a place called I spoke careless words, my day turned into night. Countenance changed, joy slipped away. Can't give anything to unsay words that got away. So what I asked was, I was dropping her off at this place called oh my gosh, my brain is having a freeze right now. Te de Seo. That was the name of the place. And I didn't know at the time what it meant. I do now. Asked her what it meant. and she said, I desire you, you know, and being the people that know me know that I like to say jokes, puns, but they're especially in the moment. And so in that moment, I said, oh, but I hardly know you. And her face, the joy that I explained in the song just slipped away. It left, and she just kind of totally changed. And it's like, oh, no, you know, I wanted to try to explain myself, and I couldn't in that moment, and I was just about to drop her off. I felt terrible, and I did get a bad review, and it was reported to Uber. It's the only time that's happened. But I don't blame her at all for that, because she took it as me being insulting or something, and it was a cultural faux pas. I felt terrible about it. You know, and I've learned that I need to, right now at this time in my life, with everything that's going on, is just slow down, slow my roll. Just there's a song by a band that I like called Punchlines called Focus on Yourself, and it's something that I'm trying to do, and I'm trying to take, I guess, as you know, another sermon that I heard recently at church was about Sabbath, taking a rest, you know, just slowing down, and not trying to put too much, just trying to slow down, basically. All right, let me just leave it at that. Okay, so the next song was an instrumental. I played it. I wanted a nice song, you know. I didn't initially have that in mind, but as I was starting to record this music, that's when I kind of got the news about, you know, the divorce conversation that my wife and I had. And this was after she had returned home from Brazil on vacation. They're gone for almost for several weeks, and I couldn't go because of my, you know, I couldn't get away from work for that long of a time. But as hard as that is, I love what we have and what we've created together. What God's brought to us, who God's brought to us. Vincent is a wonderful boy. He was almost 9. He'll be 9 in a few days. Anyway, let's see if I can find it and play that. It's an instrumental. I think it's, at least on Spotify, it might be the most popular one, along with Goodbye, in terms of who's listened to it or how often it's gotten listened to. And I think it's the longest track on the album, on the EP. Is it playing? There. Yeah, and the instrumental the intro doesn't appear anywhere else in the song, but it kind of goes right into the song, and you got the rhythm, and the guitar's gonna come in here. It's all acoustic, electric. Actually, this song I think is only 2 tracks. You got 3. I think the way I did it with Trudell, good suggestion is to have like 2 different rhythm tracks. You know, one kind of in each ear. So you got that going on, and then you got the one acoustic lead track. And again, it's off the cuff stuff. But I'm proud of how it came out. Feeling it out. This is Sabrina Maravilhosa, I should say, because it's feminine versus O, which would be masculine. I like that little. Yeah, I'm really happy with this one. I want to go back to Goodbye for a second. What was I going to say about that? Oh yeah, the speed. It was like almost twice as fast, maybe more, the way I originally had it. I couldn't get all the words in. And a good friend of mine, Kathy, New Jersey, shout out to Kathy in New Jersey, she suggested And she actually sent me a song from Tom Jones called, oh gosh, what was the name of it? Since listened to it several times, a few times. And I actually have an album with it on it, so I could look and find out. I'll Never Fall in Love Again, that's what it is. And you know, he's a crooner. And a shout out to my son Matthew, kind of a crooner himself. He's had recorded a couple songs and kind of got me into Frank Sinatra a little bit more. Anyway, I just decided to take this a lot. It's kind of a theme in my life right now. Jim, take it slow. Like slow this down like by half for the song Goodbye. And instead of having being why, oh, why must we goodbye? You know, or poppy and more upbeat. I slowed it down, which is more kind of in keeping with the, you know, the theme of the song as well. To have it be more slow and more soulful. And that's the way it came out. So I'm proud of how that came out. And the vocal delivery also became more crooning style. And I don't know that I found my voice yet in music. The one that I'm most proud of, I think, for vocals is the one before this that you heard. Palabras, Descuidadas, Siento, Mucho. I'm proud of the lyric. Somebody that I played it for that I was Uber driving told me they turned me on to a band called Cigarettes After Sex. And I really like their style. I heard a lot of Mazzy Star in that. But I really like that band. The lead singer is real, you know, good soulful delivery. And I was kind of flattered by that comparison. So with that song, and you know, after he told me about that band, Cigarettes After Sex, I checked them out and thought, oh yeah, I guess I could kind of hear that a bit, that influence in there. But again, I'm proud of how this one came out. Again, being just kind of going to the studio that night with a rough idea of that little ding, that kind of came off. Like the first time I played it, I was like, that didn't sound quite right, but I kept going with it to sort of, you know, it's improvisational. And I sort of made it my own and tried to make it sound like, yeah, it could work, you know. And a lot of notes and songs that you don't first think that they're, you know, you think they're kind of discordant, it doesn't quite go along. You kind of, you know, that actually did kind of work there. And that's kind of how I think about it now when I listen to it, because I kept coming back to it. Because first time I hit it, I was like, oh, I don't know if that sounded right. But, you know, then I kind of made it part of the thing. And I guess it hasn't turned anybody off to it too much, because people have come back and listened to it, I guess. Or, you know, it's gotten some plays or some streams. So, and I don't know how to market myself very well. I'm trying to learn how to do that better, but time-wise, I've got a full-time job, you know, and a part-time job as well. Talked about Uber being the part-time job, so it's kind of going off a little bit, and towards the end, kind of proud of the little detour that took. Coming to the end here. I like what Trudell did there with the little echoing out kind of thing there. I think that's something that he did at the end there. But yeah, I'm proud of how that came out. And we'll go on to song number 5, which is Dark Dreams. My vocals are a little sketchy on this. One way I describe my music is vocals, music catchy, vocals sketchy. In places. You know, I'm maybe the only one who notices it. Other people have said, I've had varying levels of, some people have said, yeah, your vocals could use some work, blah, blah, blah. But other people say, no, they're fine, they sound great. It's you, whatever. So, whatever. I take whatever feedback I can get. I'm still trying to find my voice. But this one, I think if I had it to do over again, I could probably get a better vocal take, but in any case, it is what it is. It's out there. Some other time I can maybe, make it better, but I'm proud of it, It's called Dark Dreams. It goes right into the vocals. You missed the first, or somehow it missed the first part. Like a distant song, I see broken pieces scattered on the floor. Anyway, the vocals are okay, but there are moments where it's like, okay, I think somebody on American Idol, what's his name, Randy Jackson, would say, little pitchy there, bro. Dog, whatever. So this was born out of what I'm, going through in this period of my life. And by the way, I was playing the chords for this song, and this is the genesis of the song titled Dark Dreams. He was talking about, I don't know why, but we were just talking about music, and he said the song Dreams by Fleetwood Mac and what a vibe that song has, and kind of agreeing with them. And as I was playing the chords that became this song, I was saying, well, this is kind of that vibe, right? He said, no, but it's what you're playing is more darker. It's darker. I was like, Dreams, Fleetwood Mac, darker, Dark Dreams. So that's where I got the idea for the song. And I'm not gonna lie, with this one particularly, I did get a little help. And most musicians probably won't admit this, but today, you can chat GPT or ask AI just about anything. And I put here the shaker comes in. I gave the idea for the song to Ask AI, and it came up with lyrics. I didn't use all of them, but I used some of the ideas and I changed them around and made them my own. But the structure of the song, in terms of chorus, bridge, verse, I'm not real great about that. That helped me, and with this one in particular, I got the most help with AI, and I didn't really do Ask AI for the others, except for a little bit here and there. But this one in particular was the most helpful in terms of coming up with the structure of the song. Not the melody or anything. That was all me and the chords playing, figuring that out. I don't even know if you can do that. I guess you probably could. Okay, here's the lead. A lot of these songs, the lead comes in like about halfway through or at a certain point. It was a discussion point with me and Trudell. I was like, where should I come in with the lead? Again, off the cuff, and I'm proud of how it came out. I don't think it's too much. Sometimes I probably need to be told, Jim, pick your spots, slow your roll, just you don't have to go all over the map with it here. And I think it was told that when I tried to play a couple of the times that I played in a blues club and a jam session. And I'm going to try to do that again soon here. I found a place in Dallas to do that. Autonomous Society, I think the fourth Thursday of every month, they do this brew pub. They get together and there's an open mic, but they also have a jam session, so I'm looking forward to kind of sort of doing that there. Gotta hold on tight. I'll be okay. Yeah, just again the hopefulness of going through something dark, but coming out on the other side with, that it's gonna be all right in the long run. And I do believe that, and I thank God that I've got friends, I've got my faith, others who've really helped me process what I'm going through. And frankly, what our family is going through. Thankfully, everybody's doing okay, and every day There's ebbs and flows, but getting better, gradually over time, things are getting better, and there's a silver lining. There's hope. Dark dreams fade with the morning light. I'll be okay. Yes, I'll be alright. That little harmonic there at the end, that was totally, again, off the cuff, and I just, it works. I love it. It's like what the heck? It's kind of out of left field, but it works. And again, that was just completely improvised, and I'm glad it's there. It's like one of those happy accidents. Like the beginning chord of some Beatles songs, or ending chord, like, oh, what's that? Or it's a combination of chords, and it's like it's cool. It sounds great, and so I'm happy with how that came out. Okay, just two more to go through. One more instrumental, and then the song "Rain in Me," which is one of the first songs I ever wrote that I decided to put on here and bookend the album with. But this is, what's it called? Okay, I'll talk about the title here. Weight Lifting and Shape Shifting. And I separated the word weight and lifting because, okay, that's the rhythm part. It's not like, you think weightlifting, immediately, electrically there. You might think of weightlifting like, and it could mean that. A band I like called Trash Can Sinatras had a song and an album called Weightlifting, and I think they had it all together, one word, like when you're weightlifting. And what they're describing there is really what I'm kind of the idea I'm getting at with the song is, I guess you could use this as a weightlifting song. Let me turn down a little bit. I feel like I'm competing with myself here. But the idea is a weight. I like that little part. It's the idea of a weight being lifted. And of course, at this time in my life, I'm like with the last song, I want to express some hope going through some difficult things. And like in a more macro level in our world today, there's a lot of darkness, but also there's light that creeps in, and we have the opportunity as human beings to push back against the darkness and let the light in. And God can help us do that, I believe, and that's why my faith is so important. And it's important that we don't baptize things as Christian that are clearly not Christian. And again, people are Christians, things are not Christian. And that's a little soapbox I was going to try to get into, but it's kind of cool. Anyway, song has some moments. It's not probably my favorite track on the album, but it's got moments, and I like it. I like all these tracks have certain moments that I really like, some more than others. Anyway, here I go, just ADD brain, just kind of just going all over the place. And that's a lot of times why sometimes I just need to tell myself, slow down. You don't want to, frighten anybody. You want to, and that's what I want to do. I really do want to love everybody. Jeff Tweedy talks about that a lot lately. I think in his interviews where he wants to fall in love with everyone, which is really hard to do. But of course, you can't fall in love with everyone. And for me, there's really going to only be one person in my life that I'm going to fall in love with, and that's the way I roll. I want to be faithful to that one person. I like how that ending came out. It's just kind of off the cuff, but it's like, it was cool. Anyway, I don't remember where I was going. Yeah, weightlifting. Oh yeah, weightlifting. So it's a weight being lifted from you, and the shape-shifting part of it, in I guess mythology or whatever, the shapeshifter, somebody that can turn into different things, like a chameleon, whatever, becoming something different. So, at this time in my life, of course, recording music and whatever, that's kind of exercising a different muscle. It's something I've always wanted to do, and I've done a little dabbling with it here and there, but this is my first sort of professional attempt or more real attempt at it. And I did put something out there to 2020 called Sanitized and Disinfected for Your Protection. Silly album title, but it was kind of a time capsule of what was going on. then. You can find it on Spotify. I don't think you can find it on any of the other streaming platforms, but some of the songs, they're all instrumentals, guitar instrumentals, and some are okay, some are... But anyway, yeah, so right now at this time of my life, I want the weight to be lifted, and I'm also becoming something different, exercising different muscles, whatever, music. So that was the idea behind weightlifting and shape shifting, the song title, which is an instrumental. And the last track is called Reign in Me. So before I was married the first time, back in 95, I think it was, I don't have the book somewhere, probably I have it, but where I wrote it down and put down the chords and whatever. It was as I was waking up, I woke up with this melody in my head. It came fully formed as I was in my waking. It's, I think, the only song that this has ever happened to me like that. My waking brain, and I, had the melody and the lyrics, everything, and I got guitar, and I was able to sort of transpose it to guitar, what was going on in my head. And it was kind of a gift from God, I felt, because like it, just kind of came out of the ether. A lot of people describe writing music like that. Keyboard on the 3rd fret, I think, yeah, 2nd or 3rd. I'd have to. Very simple song. It's the only song on this album that you'd say has what you call Christian content or faith-based content or whatever. It's happy with, really thankful to kind of be gifted this song wherever it came from. I like to think it came from God. Oh, that little part, the little sketchy background vocal, and Trudell, I asked him if he could cut it out, but I kind of wish it was there, sort of. But I was like, I was like, and you hear that after I went. Ugh. But I even like that little, modulated vocal delivery, because it gives it a little, character and flavor or whatever. Again, a very simple song. I like what I did with the vocal there. See you. Yeah, this is me sitting in my apartment. Woke up one morning, just the melody and the lyrics in my head, got my guitar, wrote it down, put it in this tablature book that I had, which I don't know where that is, but it's somewhere. Fun thing to say. So, book ends the album, because I guess the song title, or the album title, Love Posture, that's really what it's all about. As a follower of Christ, I want God, Yahweh, to reign in me. I don't want it to be what I think he should be like. I want him to reign through me, to live and move and have his being through me, and not put a Christian stamp of approval on things that are clearly not of him. And we all, I think, should slow down and really just ask ourselves, what can we do in this moment, this point of time that we're living in, to show love towards our fellow human beings? How can we love them? All of us, whomever we are, I think we need to ask that question and slow down and look for ways to love each other. I'll leave it at that. I could just keep going on riffing for a long time, and that wouldn't be good, because I would just start. I'll lose track of what I'm saying and what have you. Anyway, thanks for listening, and God bless you. Thank you.